Hello, welcome to Dungeon Drawers Podcast. I'm your host, Justin. Today, for Christmas month, we're reviewing the Gintama episode 37. People who say that Santa doesn't really exist actually want to believe in him. Gintama is probably one of my favorite comedy shows back in the day. I read the manga, which at first I hated the anime because the anime was nothing like the manga. They just like it was like they just like wrote their own episodes. Like it wasn't based off the manga. But you know, besides from that, I still like the anime. I eventually got used to it. Which is funny because one of the first manga I ever bought was actually the first volume of Gintama back today, which is published by Shonen Jump. And for people who don't know what Gintama is, it's basically a parody of Rurouni Kenshin. But what if like instead of Western foreigners showing up and westernizing the Japan, it was actually aliens from space. So like yeah, and the main character used to be like a samurai who fought against the aliens when they showed up. Eventually, the government cave in to the aliens, which are called the Manto or Manto, whatever you pronounce it, and now runs carries around a wooden sword because of the sword ban, which kind of like how Kenshin would carry like a sakabado, because I think it's what it's called, which is a reverse edge sword where like the blade side would be blunt and like the back of the blade would be sharp, which I think is called a sakabado. I don't remember. Yeah, so like yeah, this he has he runs a business called Odd Jobs Gin, where like he does odd jobs for people. Like some days it would be like help find this person, or other days it would be like act as a bodyguard. They don't really make any money. His other friends that work at his business are Kagura, who's like this girl who's part of this like alien race that are like really good fighters. That kind of like, it's kind of like a parody of Sans, and she even dresses like kind of Chinese, where like like Goku kind of dresses like Chinese, kind of. And you have Shinpachi, who is a 16-year-old who was working part-time jobs trying to support his family's dojo, which was failing after like his father died, which is kind of like a similar like backstory to Kaoru from Rurouni Kenshin. It's been a while since I read Rurouni Kenshin. It's been a couple years. Okay, like I got back into it a while ago, and I stopped when it came out. The guy went to jail for like, what did he go to jail? The mangaka, the Rurouni Kenshin, for like CP or some shit, or like he tried to pay off like, oh no, he had like, I think he had like porn or like underage porn or some shit. So yeah, CP. Which is like, yeah, which is not uncommon. Like you had the author of Toriko went to jail for having sex with a 16-year-old, but like 16's legal, so it was more like he went to jail for paying for prostitution. He went to jail for like having paying the girl for sex, basically. Yeah. So, which the Toriko manga, it's all right. I checked it out because King of Lightning says it's like his favorite fucking shonen manga. I was more a fan of the anime than the manga, but yeah. So this episode, which I binge watched like a lot of Gintama episodes for this. If you were going to collect, if you want to watch this episode on, and you want to do it legally or whatever, and Sentai Filmworks Volume 3 of Gintama collection comes with this episode on the second disc. It's episode 37, like I mentioned. It's basically a two-parter episode. The first part of the episode, the first half of the episode is like Gintama running into Santa Claus and the reindeer Ben, which reindeer Ben looks like a jacked like humanoid, which they crash their sleigh, and Gintama offers to help Santa Claus and the reindeer Ben. What ends up happening is they steal a cart from like a homeless guy who's using it as a home. Which well, I shouldn't say they steal it. They borrow it. Like he still hangs out in the back, and Gintama convinces Santa Claus and Ben to put on these outfits, which make them look like thieves, like or kind of like ninja. And the homeless guy steals like Santa Claus's outfit, which Santa Claus isn't too happy delivering like like looking like a ninja thief. And like they go around like trying to deliver gifts, but like Santa only brought kendama, which is like kendama. It's like a toy where it's like picture like a hammer with a string attached to a ball, and you're supposed to like tap the ball on each side of the hammer, keeping it up in the air kind of. So it's like kind of like one of those what do you call it? What was the thing, the toy where it's like table tennis paddle, and there's like a rubber ball attached to it with a string, and you're just bouncing it up. I can't fucking remember. I can't remember old-fashioned toys, but yeah, that's like a kendama is like the Japanese equivalent of that. There's a lot of Japanese references, but in the subtitles, they'll have an explanation for like at the top of whatever the references are, which is nice to have. But yeah, I should say this TV series wasn't dubbed in English. The new Gintama TV series was by Ocean Group. This wasn't. So what ends up happening is like you have characters that will scream over each other, and it gets rough because then you have two sets of fucking subtitles, and it's hard to figure out what's going on. So yeah, they're delivering like kendama, which there are kids that want kendama, but what happens is they'll ask for kendama, and then they'll ask for a second gift, which is like, I want like wings to fly into the future, or I want a real sweet mom, and obviously they can't do that. But they try to deliver a kendama to a girl named Yuri who wanted like not just a kendama, but like a really sweet mom. But then they show up, and like the mom, it looks like a fucking male bodybuilder in like a kimono, and beats the shit out of them, and they pass out, and it turns out it's morning, and they're about to give up, and they decide, okay, let's try to do one more, deliver one gift to one kid, right, and bask in all of his joy or whatever. And who they pick? Kagura, because she only wants steamed pork buns. What ends up happening? They go to Gintama's place, and like Kagura is sleeping under the kodatsu, which is it's basically like the table where like everybody sleeps, if I remember correctly. And there's like a blanket under under it, well, that's attached to the table. They'll put like a heater in there for the winter, so when so like your legs will be kept warm as you're like eating, That's a kotatsu, right? I can't fucking remember all this Japanese shit. No offense. Yeah, so she's sleeping under. They decide to fuck her, draw on her face. Even though half asleep, she beats the shit out of them and drag them under the kotatsu as well. And they find, she wakes up. finds the steamed pork buns, and like Santa, Gintama, and the reindeer Ben write in their own blood, "Happy Merry Christmas." That's the end of the first half of the episode. The second half, it takes place on New Year's Eve, where like Gintama goes to the convenience store to buy the latest issue of Shonen Jump, which is a double issue, and like all the characters are wearing like Santa Claus outfits. What ends up happening is there's the ninja character Kenso Hitori, who was part of the Oniwen Banshu, which was also mentioned in the Rurouni Kenshin. That's like a historical ninja unit that worked for the Shogun. They're also in this anime and manga. He wants the last issue of Shonen Jump, and he was in a previous episode, the Dreamcatcher episode, where Gintama and his friends are hired by this girl to get her money back from this cult that conned her out of her money, which that was a good episode as well. And what happens is the ninja and Gintama, sorry, not Gintama, the anime is called Gintama. The main character's name is Gintoki Sakamoto. Sorry, I totally forgot that. Gintama means silver soul. My mistake. But yeah, Gintoki or Gin-san, you know how they call him, Gin for short. Fight over the the last issue, but like, not physically. They're just like, playing tug of war with it. They take it to the cash register. Turns out, and try to pay for it. Turns out neither of them has enough money to buy the last issue of Shonen Jump. So what happens? They use their money together, and then like they try to negotiate who gets it first, and they're playing tug of war with it. They decide to, hey, if this continues, we're gonna rip this fucking thing in half. Let's have this old lady who's walking by hold onto it for us. While we try to decide who's gonna take it, right? So we don't rip it in half. The old lady offers to hold it. Neither of them lets go, and the old lady pulls at it. Eventually, she frees it from both their grasps, and it lands onto this truck, where these terrorists are driving a truck filled with bombs to destroy Edo, which those terrorists were mentioned in an earlier episode when Gen lost his memory and started working at a factory that turns out to be making bombs so they can destroy the government, because there are factions in current Japan that don't like the aliens, right? Kind of like characters from Rurouni Kenshin who didn't like the imperialism or whatever, want things to go back the way they were, kind of like the Oniwen Banshu, which is funny because one of the characters in this anime is from the Oniwen Banshu. What ends up happening is the Gen and the ninja fight for real. And they're listing off the values of Shonen Jump, which is friendship, struggle, and I forgot the last one. I think it was victory. I can't remember. Which I totally forgot there was 3 values to Shonen Jump. I thought it was just friendship, but no, I was wrong. What ends up happening during their fight? They end up diverting the truck into the fucking lake, and it explodes, and neither of them gets the Shonen Jump issue. It turns out it's not even Shonen Jump, it's Akamaru Jump, which it has the Shonen Jump pirate logo, which Shonen Jump used to have a pirate logo. If you look up old Jump comics, you'll see it. So yeah, I really liked this episode. It was fun. There's even action too, which some of the episodes don't have action because it is more of a comedy series. Sometimes the references can kind of I wouldn't say go over your head. There'll be obscure references, and sometimes there'll be references that hit you over the head, like where like one episode where like the Shinsen Gumi's boss wants to assassinate his his daughter's boyfriend at an amusement park, and like him and the other Shinsen Gumi guys there that are with him are all LARPing as Go-Go for what's his name? Go-Go 13? Oh fuck. Yeah, it's an assassin character from like anime. I think it's Go-Go 13. What's it called? Let me look it up. Oh, there's an L between the two goes. Okay. So I was kind of right. Okay. Yeah. So that was one where they hit you over the head with it. Which I never actually watched Go-Go 13. I'm not a huge fan of the art style. But apparently it's basically like a Japanese version of James Bond for people that don't know what Go-Go 13 is, which there was already Crying Freeman, which was done by the creators of Lone Wolf and Cub, by the way, which that was a James Bond inspired manga, and there's like 6 anime OVAs, a lot of sex in them. If you want to check it out, the titties are drawn very well. There's this one OVA where there's like this assassin couple, and this guy's fucking his girlfriend, and he puts like his gun, which is like it's a very it's like a gun that does not look like it would be very comfortable to have shoved up your ass, but he shoves it in his girlfriend's ass while he's fucking her. It's like I forget what kind of gun it was. But it's like a German pistol. It does not look like, because it has this thing at the end of the barrel that sticks up. So it's like, dude, you wouldn't want that up your ass. Not that I know what shit you would want up your ass, because I don't do that shit. But yeah, I would say I would give this, I'm gonna give it a 6.5. I really like this. I really like Gintama, but Gintama is not for everybody. To me, Gintama is like the Seinfeld of anime comedies, where it's like it's good, but it's not for like everybody. It's the thing where it's just like it come after a while. It's like considered like the vanilla ice cream, where it's good, but it's just like it's not something people want to binge watch or watch all the time, because it is a very long series. So it's like you'll end up like me. I end up watching like 20 or 30 episodes and then stop watching. I have the 4th volume of the Gintama collection. I didn't even realize I hadn't even fucking opened it up yet. It's still covered in plastic. That's how I knew that it was the 3rd volume that had the Christmas episode, because I knew it was in the 1st volume, and I didn't have when I ordered all 4. They never gave me the 2nd fucking volume, because literally I ordered this shit and it goes out of print. Like as it's getting sent over to me, so I ended up not getting the fucking a 2nd collection. But you can hunt this shit down, or there's Kiss anime and shit. But yeah, I really like Gintama. The next anime I'm gonna watch is Detroit Metal City. Maybe I'll review it. I don't know. Alright, peace.